Short of his own try line as the roar goes up. Point from dummy half. The defence very keen at this stage for Redcliffe. Smith across to Gill. They're going to swing it wide early. Oh, and they've paid the penalty this time. Crunching defence. That was a replacement player. Rolls. Brothers pinned down on their own try line. Big Dave Brown this time doing the defensive work.
Taking plenty of chances, Brothers.
Well, they've been doing it all season, throwing the ball around. That's the fifth tackle. They've gone absolutely nowhere, backwards in fact. And that's the clearing kick from Tony Ray. Not a good one as Donnelly comes flying onto it. Now Redcliffe with the chance to apply the pressure in these opening minutes. Keogh to dummy half, gives it to Knuth off his wing. Now the Brothers defence. This will test them. Only 30 metres out, Redcliffe. Sandy. Dummies Niebling picks up the tyre and then the ball's been dropped by Redcliffe. Now Brothers have it. Clinton Moore spots a bit of a hole and makes his way to 10 metres short of the halfway line. Bailey into the dummy half position. They work the blind. Smith supports well and truly covered though. The Redcliffe defence again up very smartly. Well, they've lost ground actually, Brothers. Jim Stafford trying to make some headway. Poole comes in for plenty of attention there from Brian Niebling over the top. The swinging arm. Smith the blind side. Gary Smith takes them on to Pyers there though. Also Canescu just short of the halfway line, Brothers. Smith. Gill. The little chip and chase. Brothers play, spin through, sits up for Burns. He regains. Now it's on the ground. Knocked on though. And a scrum will pack down 10 metres inside of Redcliffe's territory.
Good kick that one from Peter Gill. Found the gap in behind the Redcliffe defensive line. It was only Bob Keogh was coming across and covered a fence. I think probably good luck better than good management. Where was Jamie Sandy? And Jeff Burns nearly took it on his fingers. Here it is, the ball bouncing, and that's exactly what Gill wanted. There's Burns, not a knock on at that stage, providing he regained it himself. He couldn't do so. And there's Brothers just knocking on the second time. Scrum to Pat.
Redcliffe come up with it, the first scrum of the match, and it's a Redcliffe win. Sandy, he's creating plenty of problems already. Almost ducked under that tackle of Grogan, but Gill finishes him off. The blind side. Bleakley, the captain, takes play just short of the halfway mark in Redcliffe territory. Brian Niebling setting himself for a run, but a penalty to Redcliffe. Brothers up inside the 5 metres.
Well, first penalty of the match. It's taken only a couple of minutes to come, but Eddie Ward has shown great restraint with both sides to date. But I did notice that Ward actually spoke to the players about 5 seconds before that. He said, get back on side. He looked back a couple of moments later, and they were still standing in an offside position. So
Steve Cherry in that wing position. Back for the restart, and Cherry takes it for the second kick. Carter. Nice solid tackle from him. There's been plenty of media build-up this week about Carter. Second ball on the field. Eddie Ward stop play while we get rid of it. Sandy. Sandy again breaking tackles up to the quarterway. Gill forced to come across and clean him up. Ball loose on the ground and knocked on, says Eddie Ward. Well, Redcliffe are the side that have made 2 errors so far. They've lost 2 ball and it's only 3 minutes into the game. Sandy dropped one. Rowan Teevan dropped one a couple of moments. There's Ross Strudwick sitting up in the crowd. Now it packs. Redcliffe up with it. Spenson. Just short of his own halfway. Bleakley to Pyer. Carter in over the top. Ray around the legs. Keogh. Fumble. Still loose. Knocked backwards, said the referee. Play on. Goes out the back line. That's Rolls. Rolls, big tackle. 10 metres inside of Brothers' territory. He had a big game when he came on last week. And certainly a worthy replacement. Teevan still going forward. Brothers, now they regroup. Benson. Cut out pass to Keogh running wide. Good defence though, Brothers. 5th tackle. Niebling into the dummy half position. Benson. Puts one up for the chasers. Coins there though, takes it nicely, and then makes it back almost to his own quarterway. Moore has it. Plenty of pace this fellow. Beats Stevens' tackle. Still going Clinton Moore. Oh, he should have given it early and Redcliffe will come up with it. Yeah, tried to do too much, you're right, Phil. He went a pace too far. The chance was on when he created it. But bad work from Bob Keogh. He didn't corner him onto the touchline. Let him get into open spaces. You can't afford to do it. Dave Brown. Let's have a look at it again. There's Clinton Moore hitting a heavy tackle. The ball went free and Redcliffe onto the loose one. Sandy across field. Sandy almost through.
He's been dangerous 3 or 4 times today, Jamie Sandy.
They're hanging off him, brothers. They can't afford to do that. Keogh. Redcliffe mounting their attack. 5th tackle now. Canescu. Benson. Across the field kick. He's going to bounce. This is going to be plenty of problems for brothers. Who'll race the race? Beats them all over the dead ball line.
Looked like Teevan was the last man to touch it. It went dead and a restart. No, it could have come off Brothers by the look of it. Eddie Ward's decided to come off Brothers. Let's have a look at it. This one from Benson. Any kick that lands on the ground in this area of the field is a good kick. There it is, bouncing free. Who did it come off last? Coyne's there. Looks like he decided it was Coyne was the man who took it. Teevan was already over the dead ball line. Restart from Brothers. They're under pressure.
Jeff Burns with a restart from underneath his goalpost. That's a big kick. That's a huge kick, way down 5 metres inside of Redcliffe's territory, and Brothers up very quickly, and he makes it back to 10 metres inside of Brothers.
Well, 10 minutes gone in the match, and Redcliffe have had all the running. They played the game just about solely in Brothers' territory, and yet Brothers have had the wind at their back, so Redcliffe certainly starting well, but it's an 80-minute game.
Blakely from the set move, back to Canescu. There's a bit of a blue in the background. Dudley now chiming in from fullback. Redcliffe keen to keep this ball alive. To Sandy. Benson. Cut out past the rolls. Can't pick it up. Still loose on the ground, but knocked on both ways. Well, a chance there for Brothers if they could have taken that one cleanly.
Well, Bill, I don't think I can recall such an open grand final in terms of trying to throw the ball around at all costs, and what a good crowd we've got here today to see this sort of action.
Of course, it's the last grand final in this format. They'll get a penalty to Brothers from the scrum. 2 Brothers. Let's see what Eddie Ward says the ruling was.
Pointing out Jamie Sandy. Second row feed by Sandy, so Brothers get the differential penalty, and didn't they need it to relieve a little bit of pressure. Penalties at the moment favouring Brothers by 2-1. There's Darryl Vandervelde and Terry White right beside him on Vandervelde's left. Terry White, the sponsor, of course, of Redcliffe, and Darryl Vandervelde watching intently. He'd be happy with the start so far, but once again we see good play not being converted into points. Let's see if Redcliffe can keep it up. You can be sure Brothers will be able to keep up the pressure.
27 minutes remaining in the first half. Newell, there's the second kick from Brothers. Coyne, the winger, taking it straight up.
Redcliffe's chance to defend.
Brothers will set it up for something. Here's the move off the second kick. Back inside. Coyne has it again. Coyne. Tackle, though, just short of the Redcliffe quarterway. Smith looking for runners. Finds Gary Smith. Smith again. Just short of that quarterway. Carter juggles, then takes them on. And slips his pass. Still going. Bailey for the try. He scores! The first try of the match for Brothers when they open the door.
What a try. What a smile from the captain. Beautiful pass from Steve Carter. Had a suspicion about being forward. Eddie Ward didn't think so. But Steve Carter took them on straight up the middle. Brothers hit back the blind side first up. Let's have a look at it. Beautiful pass. That was okay. Picked up beautifully by Bailey. Not a forward. And Bailey showing good pace. Gets away from Bleakley. Then to the fullback, Donnelly. Look at the stride on Bailey. Had his sights set on the try line. He wasn't going to get caught. Donnelly should have made a better attempt to tackle than that one. And Trevor Bailey, the Brothers captain, gets across for the first points of the game. Here it is. Carter. Great front row play. Goes in to protect himself initially. Then gets his hands free. Fires it up to the ever backing up hooker. And he breaks out of the tackle. And then steps again to go away from Donnelly. Caught Donnelly flat-footed. And Trevor Bailey streaks across. The Brothers' first try. They lead 4-0.
There's his record so far this season. His season kicking average of 60%. As he moves in to try and add the extras, and looks though it's across the face. Waved away, says the touch judges. The score remains Brothers 4, Redcliffe 0.
We've seen Brothers absorb all the punishment from Redcliffe, get one chance, bang, a try. And how often does that happen? And Redcliffe are going to have to regroup.
So there's the restart from Benson. Taken on the full by Smith. He brings it back. Out of one tackle, but slips. Canescu finishes him off. Smith. Gill. Oh, on his fingertips. And dropped it. A bad mistake from Peter Gill. John, interesting.
Yes, Bill, I thought that ball that Carter got away was a classical front rowers ball, and Redcliffe I thought was one of their main strengths, but they certainly weakened there, and they've got to tighten up the middle if they're going to stay in this game. Although this wind, I think, will you'd want to at least a 4-point advantage going into half-time.
Boy, what a scrum that one was. That was against the head, that one for Brothers. They couldn't pick the ball up, though, and then they've knocked it on. So could really be a turning point in the match.
So another scrum will pack down. This one 5 metres out from Brothers' try line. Redcliffe have it. Sandy going across field. Sandy still going. Now he's pulled down. Redcliffe looking to strike back quickly. Bleakley right in front of the stick. As the crowd starts to roar. Tapia. No one there, though. They're setting it up, Redcliffe.
The difference between the two sides.
Canescu from dummy half. 2 metres short. Desperately trying to get his arms free. Tapia to Sandy. Tapia himself. Took the pass. Brothers will come up with it.
Desperation stuff from Redcliffe. They lacked support when they wanted it. Forced Tapia to go across field and try an impossible pass. Redcliffe really had plenty of chances out here on the blind side. There it is, Tapia going out of dummy half. Late in the tackle count, tries an impossible pass. Brothers have surrounded him. There's Stafford in to cover it up. And once again, Brothers off the hook. But I do think Brothers' defensive pattern is vulnerable on the blind side. And unless Redcliffe exploit it, I think they're going to have all sorts of trouble.
Brothers with the attack. Joe Kilroy steps into touch though. As he started to open up, Brian Newby came across and covered a fence.
Well, all the pundits before the game said that Brothers' strength was out wide with the speed. They'll use it on every occasion possible. And on one of the few occasions so far, they've been able to get it right to the flank.
Sandy with the scrum feed. And Redcliffe come up with it. So again, they have the chance to apply the pressure.
They're not winning clean ball out of there, though. Canescu wouldn't be too happy with the way the ball's coming out the back.
Dave Brown up to the quarterway. Canescu into dummy half. Niebling this time. No, misses Niebling. Goes to Bleakley. Oh, solid defence. Brett Leman flying through. Benson. Donnelly. And again, good defence from Brothers. They smother the attacking movements. That was Burns. Rolls. The Keogh. The quarterway.
Brothers' defence starting to get in the swing of it now. Redcliffe finding it very difficult to make ground.
Fifth tackle. Benson. Chip across. That's a good kick. Joe Kilroy sets himself and takes it nicely. Joe Kilroy and manages to get back into the field of play.
Brilliant, Joe, brilliant. Of course, had he been tackled in the end goal area, would have been a goal line drop out there. Strudwick be very satisfied with what Kilroy did there.
So with 20 minutes remaining in the match, Brothers lead 4-0. Stephen takes it on the full from the restart and runs it straight into the forwards. Carter's there with Bailey and they combine to put him to ground. Canescu had no one in support, has to go himself. Gains 3 or 4 metres, he's up to the quarterway. Bleakley, they switch it. Sandy. Oh, it's a late pass. A speculator. Redcliffe have it though. Lucky to keep that one. Sandy again. Niebling and Brothers up inside the 5 metres. Scrum win to Redcliffe. Donnelly in from the full-back position. Brett Leman very quickly peeling off the back of that scrum to affect the tackle with Gary Smith. Tapia slips his past to Knuth, the 2 blonde bombshells for Redcliffe. Just inside of Brothers' territory. Canescu himself.
Where's the charges from the Redcliffe front row? They want Brown and Niebling working in tandem.
They've been running too shallow. Once again, Dave Brown not getting back far enough. Takes on the tacklers.
Where was his backup too? Brown, he'd be disappointed.
Niebling again not getting deep enough. But here's a set move out to Benson. Out to Rolls chiming in. Rolls back inside to Benson. Benson stands up Carter. Straightens up. Moore takes him down. 5th tackle.
Benson's the kicker and he's just played the ball.
Cross to Donnelly. He'll do that honour this time. Coyne's back there. And Coyne takes it again safely. He's done well, the young fellow, today.
Good chase from Canescu. They'll need plenty of defence from him.
Moore, the only one back for Brothers, the full-back, has to settle it. Leman up to the quarterway. 12 minutes now remaining in the first half. Brothers lead 4 points to 0. Smith, the blind side. Smith, oh, 50 fast, but intercepted by Steve Cherry. And Cherry gets one to Keogh. Keogh only had the top of the beat. Keogh snapping across in cover defence. Keogh pulled down. Just 2 metres short of the try line.
What a tackle by Stafford and Leman.
Redcliffe on the attack. Canescu
did the right thing to hold it. Quick, play the ball.
Cherry. Now they swing it. Bleakley, Sandy, Dave Brown just pulled down. Peter Gill bootlaces him. Sandy still going. 5 metres short. Redcliffe trailing 4-0. Bleakley got a knock on in to play the ball, and it's come to Paxdown.
Well, Redcliffe, I think, a little bit unfortunate they didn't get a penalty there because it looked like Clinton Moore was lying at the base of the ruck. Bleakley found it very difficult to get a clean shot at it. Brothers called on to do their famous defensive pattern, and it's working today. And a great last-ditch tackle on Bob Keogh.
And despite a big push from Redcliffe, Brothers come away with it. 10 metres out from their own try line. Burns from dummy half. Sneaks 3 or 4 metres. Barley now into the dummy half. Peter Gill, again they'll run it. Grogan across field though. Picked up and put to the ground by Teven. Gill, the little chick kick. It's going to bounce. An awkward one. Barley comes through, picks it up. 6 to go, says Eddie Ward. Good work from Brothers, always backing up.
Once again, though, Redcliffe found wanting just behind the defensive line. Second time a short kick's been effective.
Grogan. They're 20 metres short of the halfway mark, Brothers. Joey Kilroy, dummy half, goes for a run himself and sees a hole up the middle. Too quick for Brian Niebling. Sapaya finishes him off. Smith to Gill. To Leman. Leman supports, recovered to come back inside. Stafford are keeping it alive. Gill's got the hole, still going. Gill has the ball. Bailey. Now it's Carter. Carter draws to the bench. To Grogan. To Kilroy. Pulled out of the line. Beautiful big tackle by Keogh coming across.
Champagne Rugby League, you wouldn't get it better than that. Kilroy, the try scorer that's got Brothers into so many big matches. And what a fantastic cover defending effort from Bob Keogh. Good initial build-up play from Brothers there to put Kilroy away. Here it is. Let's have a look at it. There's the pass from Grogan. Look at Keogh coming across. Joe's got the ball in the wrong hand. Keogh picks him up beautifully. Takes him in a touch. Redcliffe won the scrum.
Bob Keogh, our man of the match last week, and that's one of the reasons he was our man of the match. His cover defensive work was brilliant, and again he was called on to do it, and he came up trumps again for Redcliffe. Redcliffe now with a chance to clear. A little misunderstanding. Niebling finally has it. They're on their own quarterway. They trail by 4 points to 0, Redcliffe. Just under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Benson. The clearing kick. Coyne again. Been safe all day. Comes up again. Doesn't beat Rolls, but unloads he's past the Moore. Moore beats the Pire. Moore in the open spaces. Up towards the quarterway. Crowd beats Sandy's tackle. Benson. Kilroy. Across the cover. A try to Brothers.
Joe shows his orange mouth guard. He's exhausted. He'd only just barely recovered from the last cover defending tackle. Had to juggle that one to put it away. Great build-up once again. Brothers showing from broken play. There's the man who started it, young Mark Coyne. He took the ball beautifully back from the deep kick downfield. Redcliffe were under pressure. He'd given the ball to Clinton Moore. Clinton Moore there tries to stand up Jamie Sandy. Just gets his hands free long enough. Tony Ray, beautiful backup. Out to Joe Kilroy. Look at Joe juggle it. Just gets a hold of it. Cover defence too late. Here go Brothers for their second try. The back line has shown it again. There's Clinton Moore. He lapped around. He backed up the support of Mark Coyne. Back inside Ashley Tupaia. Tupaia didn't have the pace to get anywhere near him. This is the class of this fellow, Clinton Moore. Have a look at him try and stand up Jamie Sandy. Sandy gets to him. As he goes wide, back on the inside to Tony Ray. That's good backup play from the second row. Then back out again to Joey Kilroy. And last-ditch effort by Benson can't stop him going across in the corner.
Well, Bleakley was to be found this time. Now Tony Ray, who had a big part in that try, with a chance to convert. A difficult kick from the sideline. Moves in, strikes it, and again, that one moving away. So Brothers now 8-0. Benson, there's the restart. Tony Ray knocks on. Eddie Ward picks it up.
Well, 7 minutes to go in the first half. Brothers have scored 2 tries, but only lead by 8 points to 0.
Another Brothers scrum feed and a Brothers scrum win. Take it the blind side. Leman. Back to the quarterway. Stafford. This time cutting back infield and finding holes up the middle. Bleakley called upon to make the tackle with Keogh. Gill, Smith. Gill working as a pivot. Grogan, Burns. Nice tight passing from Brothers. Moore was taken out in back play, but not interfered with too much. Fifth and final tackle. Ray from the dummy half with the kick. Sits up nicely for Donnelly. Oh, but then he makes a bad mistake. Well, fundamental mistake.
You cannot afford to make an error under pressure in a grand final. That one, Donnelly just looked away. He had the ball initially, looked away. The ball went straight to ground. Brothers a great chance to put more points on. 3 minutes to half-time.
The blind side, Gill holds it up for Moore.
Good defence, Redcliffe. Brothers are trying to create the overlap there.
Smith, Greg Smith, himself. Nice tackle from Koneski though. Blind side again. Gary Smith this time, almost jumping into the tackle. Bleakley. Carter, this is where he's dangerous, close to the line. Stephen Carter, still going. Got his arm 3-2, couldn't find his supports. Smith to Gill, Brothers on the attack. They want another try. Burns knocked down, knocked back though. Still going, Grogan. And the fifth tackle, wasn't touched by a Redcliffe player for Eddie Ward. I still agree with you. Gill's kick straight up and down in the one spot. They all go high. Brothers have it, but offside and a penalty to Redcliffe.
Oops, a little bit of a punch there from Keogh on Mark Coyne. A little bit of frustration being shown by Redcliffe, but a relieving penalty certainly. 2 minutes up to half-time at 8-0. Redcliffe is still in with a good chance to win the match. They'll have to cut down on their error rate, but they have the wind advantage in the second half. They can ill afford to let any further points go on the board. No more mistakes.
Redcliffe with just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Need to get down into Brothers territory quickly and try and post some points. Niebling. John Rebo mentioned before the breeze is probably worth 4 points, David.
Well, I think the value of breezes depends very much. There's another pass from Tapia gone astray.
Coyne for the try line. The back of the bench will come across, but they won't press him. And Coyne will score. And Brothers, that's their third try. They lead now 12 points to 0.
Well, you can just about put your glasses down, I think. That's inexcusable from Redcliffe. Another try from a mistake. Certainly that the tackle was a heavy one. Redcliffe at 8-0, okay, wasn't what they wanted at half-time, but it was certainly better than this, 12-0. There it is to Tapia, trying to get the pass away. Crunch, Steve Carter, what a hit. The ball goes loose, picked up quickly by Brothers. Here it is, the ball bouncing around. Tony Ray it is. Look at him search straight for his winger. Always had it in mind to get out. Beautiful pass, little flick of the wrist. And Mark Coyne, he's a speedster. Dave Brown, he could have had a jet behind him. He wasn't going to catch this fellow. He scoots away. Neither was Keogh. And Mark Coyne, the young speedster, puts it down for Brothers' third try. So once again, we've got Redcliffe making mistakes. Okay, this one was brought about by a fantastic tackle, but it really shouldn't have come because they should have tidied it right up.
Tony Ray with the kick, looking to add the extras, and hits the upright and bounces in. That's his first kick. 1 from 3. And that will be the half-time score. Brothers 14, Redcliffe 0.
Daryl Vanderbilt's got a couple of interesting decisions to make at half-time. He's got a few...
But it will be to Redcliffe. They trail by 14 points to 0. And the second half to go. And to decide who will be the premiers for 1987. Brisbane Rugby League. Sandy, Tapia, running it wider, that's better the forwards. Working out wide, looking for gaps. Konescu himself from dummy half. 10 metres short of the halfway. Back to Benson. Gets his kick in. Too big though, and into touch on the full.
Even worth seeing that on replay. It'll take a little while to pack this scrum, and we'll see the pressure that Brothers gave to the kicker out of the marker position. We might be able to pick it up, although the scrum's going to pack. Benson also limping, but Brothers putting the pressure on, force Benson into touch.
Brothers come away with a scrum win. Burns, there's a double round, but it's gone astray. Redcliffe will come up with it. Yes, they have it. Redcliffe just inside of Brothers' territory. A bad mistake from Brothers. It was the first tackle. That's one of the few mistakes they've made today. And Redcliffe now capitalised on it and a chance to attack. Sandy, Brown. I'd like to see more of him this afternoon, Dave Brown. Sandy Benson dummies and goes himself, or Sandy I should say.
A player that certainly must come into contention in the early minutes of the second half is Jim Cowell. Penalty.
And a penalty to Redcliffe.
Should take the 2 points, I reckon. Only a couple of minutes into the second half. Points on offer, and Benson's just the man to put it over. No, he's not. He hurt his ankle before, and it looks like he's asked Bob Keogh to do the job.
Keogh will, yes, take the kick for goal.
Tactically, I think the correct decision here, Bill. There's a long way to go in this match at 14-0. That's more than 2 tries out of it. 14-2, you've only got a 2 converted try deficit. And of course, anything can happen, as we've seen plenty of times in recent finals matches. Bob Keogh was called on to do the kicking last week. He's got a very good average of 70%. It was actually when Benson was injured in last week's game against Norse that Keogh came in to do the kicking. The breeze coming right over his shoulder, and this very good crowd. Not a good one for estimating crowds, but Bill, what do you think? 25?
I'd say at least 25, Dave. And that's an excellent crowd when you consider the amount of activity going on in Brisbane today with the Great Aussie Picnic and such. And that apparently has drawn big crowds as well. And there's the Speedway, of course, down at the Gold Coast. As Bob Keogh moves in to this attempted goal, and looks pretty true. Up go the flags. Redcliffe, their first points on the board. They trail by 14 points to 2. As you say, Dave, that could well be now a confidence booster. Brothers with the restart. Kevin Bailey kicking off. Taken on the full by Redcliffe. That's Bleakley. Brings it back almost to his own quarterway. Stephen Carter doing a bit of wrestling up top. Brothers look very bunched, as you say, David, that formation they have. Here they go, they number out. Knuth.
That's the way to do it, though. Standing pivot with Sandy and have someone hit off the edge all the time.
Brown, now he's running more freely. Got back a bit further. 25 out from their own try line. Back to Donnelly. He kicks straight downfield, but straight down the throat of Clinton Moore. Moore said, thank you very much, and it takes it back inside of Redcliffe's territory.
Well, we said earlier, Bill, that the wind is an advantage, but it's only good for you if you kick well. And that was a very poor kick. That one should have gone deep downfield and had Brothers pinned in their own territory.
Stafford, the blind side. Canescu. I'd like to see his tackle count. He's pretty busy today.
Yeah, he's the top tackler for Redcliffe in the first half. He'd be up over 20 now.
Smith to play it back. Greg Smith. Carter running wide. Carter. Another beautiful pass to Gill. Gill gets his pass up to Grogan. Grogan out to Burns. Fingertips it. Gets it. More. One to beat. Gilroy. That was forward though. Went forward.
Joey's going to put it across the line anyway. What a spectacular player. Joey thinks he scored it. Shakes the head. I tell you what, he did it nice. What better place, Joe, than in the grandstand corner. What a beautiful backline movement from Brothers. Have a look at this. This is the end of it. Clinton Moore fires it out to Kilroy. That was the forward pass. But look at this from Kilroy. Breaks, comes forward, almost stumbles, gets up, spins around, scores the try. Unfortunately, Eddie Ward had blown the whistle about 2 seconds earlier.
So that was a try for the crowd, that one. And they all went up in unison.
Joe, you might have even heard the whistle himself, but he thought, oh, well, I'll show it up. Yeah, there's Gary Balkin. Gary Balkin, one of the consortium members for the Broncos. He's here, an interested member. Of course, Gary gives away a number of trophies for the top try scorer every season, and an ex-Brothers A-grade player.
So Bleakley spotted a hole, but it closed quickly with Burns coming across to snuff it out. Back to Benson. The kick again downfield, but again his kicks are like radars on them, straight to the Brothers players, and now Moore turns them into attack again. Clinton Moore back to the quarterway. This time the support wasn't there, and he's taken down by Benson, the kicker. But they're back on attack, Brothers. Stephen Carter. Keogh the tackler.
Redcliffe can't handle that little step in and the wrap around.
Gill. Grogan holds it up. Ray back in field. The forwards in the back line. Backs in the forwards, Brothers. It doesn't matter. They're all there backing up. Laman. Well, a bit of confusion. Stafford still standing. Fifth tackle now. Bailey with the kick. on their screaming through brothers. Up they go for it. Come down brothers way, 6 to go, that's a try!
Tony Ray on the spot. Once again, brothers challenging for the ball. It was touched by a brothers player. Did come backwards though. 18-2 the score now as brothers race away with it. Early minutes of the second half. Tony Ray there, very determined still. He was on the spot. He has bowled the ball everywhere today, Tony Ray. Have a look at this. Good high bomb because it held up in the wind. Donnelly was always going to be in trouble. Have a look at this. Brothers go up quickly for it. The ball off Donnelly basically. Could have been Gill as well, but certainly backwards. And Tony Ray, who has been everywhere today, he set up 2 tries with the last pass. And there he is to pick up that one and score the try. Good kick out of dummy half. Once again, brothers have a great licence to kick out of dummy half. Good one from Bailey, the captain. Hung up in the breeze. And Peter Gill and brothers in there very quickly to try and harass Redcliffe. They couldn't handle it. Tony Ray could. And brothers 18-2 with the kick to come.
Tony Ray, the try scorer. This one pretty well in front. Moves in, makes no mistake. Up go the flags. Brothers move out now to lead by 20 points to 2. John Rebo, that's just what Redcliffe didn't want.
Oh, certainly, Bill. They're really against it now. They've got to get back there, and as I said at half time, play the game down in their half. But brothers are playing some champagne football at the moment. They look like they're going to be very hard to stop from winning this title this year.
So play comes back to the halfway for the restart.
I think Vanderbilt should be making some changes. He just needs fresh men on there at the moment, and he's got a good player in Jim Cowell on the bench.
Cowell certainly one who can stir them up. Joe Kilroy comes away with it and plays it forward. No one in front of Kilroy then. These are the little mistakes Redcliffe keep making. Brothers keep capitalising on. The blind side, Stafford. Another player bound for Sydney next year, Jim Stafford, said this would be his acid test today.
Harder
Brothers
again.
doing it as they like. Bailey, who it is, will get up and play it. Greg Smith to Gill, Burns. Oh, pass on to Gary Smith as a speculator, and Keogh comes away with it. Now let's see what Redcliffe can do. Rolls.
Movement on the Redcliffe bench with Jim Cowell moving out right now.
Bleakley to Pyer. Pyer slung to the ground by Carter. On to Dave Brown. Up to the brothers' quarterway. Sandy. Men over here, Redcliffe, if they can swing it quickly. Long cut-out pass. Still going Donnelly. But Grogan comes across and puts him to ground on the quarterway. And he's lost the ball. Brothers have it. Laman. But even Sandy not able to make an impression on his brother's defensive pattern today.
There's Ross Strudwick, a very contented look on his face. The scrum's 14-9 in favour of the Dolphins.
No mistake this time as brothers come up with it. Gill, they'll run it. Smith creating the extra man. Grogan, though, well and truly smothered by Teethan as he comes up. Ray to Burns. Burns back infield, beating a couple of tackles. Finally put to ground by Bleakley. Coyne in off his wing for a run. Kilroy this time the opposite winger spots a bit of a hole up the middle. The two wingers making good ground. 20 metres in those last 2 tackles. Bailey for touch.
There's Robin Thorne coming down the knee, very heavily strapped. He was in hospital earlier in the week. So Darryl Vanderbilt making a last-minute replacement with 16 to go.
Plenty of brothers chases through on that kick. Able to contain Donnelly, but giving away a penalty. Coyne overzealous. Play the ball.
There's Gary Vernon coming on also, a big front rower. Also signed for Sydney next year. I think he's going to Parramatta as well. Niebling's off the field also, so Robin Thorne on, and I'd say Cherry into the pack where he's been out on the wing all day, and I think wasted. Vernon has yet to take the field.
Cherry now starts to involve himself in play. Well, too late. Very quiet on the wing today, Steve Cherry. Up the middle, a good strong run by Bleakley. Takes play just short of the halfway mark. Benson up to Rolls. Rolls back in field. still going, popped his pass to Canescu. Canescu smothered though and put the ground with a nice tackle. Gillett was the tackler. Brown pops his pass up. It's Donnelly. Donnelly almost into touch. Manages to stay in play. Clitmore cleaning up at the back. Fifth tackle. Knocked down by Brothers and knocked on.
Brothers making a couple of replacements. There's Vernon one and Vince O'Brien the other. So Strudwick, was it Vince O'Brien? Let's have a look. There's Joey Kilroy, once again done his job, scored a try for Brothers, and has been sensational on the grandstand wing. Vince O'Brien is his replacement.
Doesn't he get a big round of applause?
There's Vernon, he hasn't taken the field yet. There's a penalty going to Redcliffe. Vernon looking for his chance to get on, and won't be now because Brothers have been going to call on to do some defence in the last 15 minutes. There's Joey, smiling and talking to one of the attendants there. Very happy man, as the Brothers bench would be. They lead 20-2, 14 minutes to go. Can Redcliffe get a try on?
Dave Brown, straight up the middle. Comes into Gary Smith, and Gary Smith puts him to ground. Working it. There's the set move out to Knuth. Knuth down the sideline, gets it back inside, still going. Then they get the pass away. Dudley, oh, I thought he could have scored himself if he reached out. Got the pass back inside though to Canescu. Canescu pulled down just short of the line. Sandy spots a bit of a gap. Closed very quickly though. Still 5 metres out. Benson. Long pass out to Teevan on the ball, and he's put it on the ground. That's been the story all day for Redcliffe.
Well, Struddy will say he forced that error because once again his stacked defensive pattern tempts the side to throw those long passes. Looks like Teevan is down injured. Stafford leaves the field as Vernon goes up. There's the ball out to Teevan. Teevan tries to regather, he can't. The knock-on's been saved there by Brett Rolls. And big Jim Stafford leaves the field. What a future he's got in the game. There's not many good big men around. He's one of them. And unfortunately off to the Parramatta Eels. He and Joe shake hands. There's the premiership. There's the Brothers bench, and we see John Rebo working his way onto the bench. John, I guess you're there with a couple of very happy Brothers boys at the moment.
I certainly am, David. Here with Joe Kilroy and Jim Stafford. Joe, how do you feel?
A bit warm, mate, but pretty happy. Pretty happy. I just hope the boys keep their mind on the job. And all the bigger smiles later on.
Good. Jim, how do you feel?
Oh, mate, we're going out there real well. As long as we can keep them scoreless, I'll be real happy.
Congratulations on a good game.
Well, certainly blowing plenty of wind, and why shouldn't they be? They've certainly earned their pay this afternoon, the Brothers boys, Stafford and Kilroy. The Brothers now this game well and truly parcelled up. 12 minutes remaining. 20 points to 2 they lead. Brothers continue to swing it wide. Ball's gone astray, but Leman has it knocked backwards and knocked down by a Redcliffe player, so 6 tackles to go. Brothers just short of their own quarter lay on the Frank Bergstand side of the field. Placement player Vernon. Bailey, dummy half himself, picks up Leman. Smith to Gill. Gill dummies. Saw his outside supports were well and truly covered. Takes the ball to ground and loses it. And a knock-on, says Eddie Ward.
Eddie Ward had called held there just a moment before Peter Gill lost it. Therefore, it couldn't be a play-on situation.
Another
Eric Kennedy.
player.
Eric Kennedy has done such a great job for Brothers as a replacement and also in the run-on side a few times this year. He played in the reserve grade today. He could end up and will end up with 2 grand finals behind him in one day.
Knuth loses the ball for Redcliffe on the first tackle. Brothers with it. Leman. Good tackle by Cal. Needed plenty of that early on. Gill. Smith to Ray. Ray still going. Picks up Clinton Moore. Moore can't get his arm free. Pull down 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Smith, Vernon. Strong run from the big fellow. 5 metres short of the halfway mark now. Smith, Gill, Grogan. Here they go. Carter. Back to Grogan. Up the middle. Takes the tackle. That's the 5th and final. Ray with his kick in, that came off a Redcliffe hand. Sits up nicely though. Thorne brings it back to the halfway mark. Still going, shrugged out of a couple of tackles, Robin Thorne. Oh, and finally cleaned up. Vince O'Brien, the two replacement players, clashing of heads. Bleakley. Keogh. Been a tireless worker for the Dolphins today, Bob Keogh. Did some good things in the match. One of the players who doesn't deserve to be on a losing side. Donnelly, pass to Teeman. Teeman in open spaces. Checks his goal for the try line. Can't reach out though. Pull down.
Greg Smith, what a great cover defending tackle. Should score, Redcliffe.
Canoe tried to barge over. Can't put it down though. And the defence equal to the pass and bundle him into touch.
Well, Shane Canoe was only about 3 players back and they were all in front of him. All they had to do was move the ball. Don't think he took the right option.
Scrum will result.
Great tackle from Greg Smith there to get Rowan Teevan.
Redcliffe have it. Well, they want to try. Keogh. Sandy. Benson. Over the top to Thorne. Thorne can't beat Vince O'Brien, who came up very smart and put him to ground. Cow looking to slip it again. Sandy. Dave Brown. 5th tackle. Sandy. Little chip kick through. Plenty of chasers. Loose in goal. Sandy dives on it. And that's a try. A consolation try to Redcliffe. That's their first try of the match.
Well, it was the only way they were going to crack their defence. They weren't going to run through it. They had to kick through it, and it's surprising they haven't done a little bit more of it. They spent a lot of time in the first half belting away at the try line, couldn't get across. The little rubber kick by Sandy, playing pinball with it really because it did bounce around. From the play the ball, once again, Brothers' defence had been rock solid. The little rubber kick through, put it on the tip, anything can happen. And have a look at this, look at the awkward bounce already. Mark Coyne can't quite gain it. The ball goes loose and Sandy following through to pick his own kick up. All he has to do is dive on it. Redcliffe's first try. But all too late for the Dolphins. It'll be nice for them to see that they have been able to put a point on, or a try on. There's a little one from Sandy, good little one. Carter does the right thing and not knocking him over afterwards. The ball loose, comes off Coyne, and Sandy there to drop on it. Redcliffe now with 6 points on the board, the Brothers 20.
And in fact the kick has been taken, and Keogh kicked it. There's Stephen Carter leaving the field.
Well, another great effort, another great grand final from Steve Carter. Played very strongly, set up the first try with a beautiful pass to Trevor Bailey, and some of his defence has been as tough as you'd ever get anywhere. So his career, which will now go on to St George next year, as a number of Brothers players will, and looks like he's got all the attributes to go on with it.
And as I said before, the kick was successful by Bob Keogh. The score now, Brothers 20, Redcliffe 8, and there's Stephen Carter.
I think he said he was tired.
He was tired. Well, he should be. 12 points of difference. We gave North away last week, David. They came back to within 8 points.
Yeah, I think Brothers are very, very determined, although Dave Brown making a bust.
Gets his pass up to Knuth. As you said last week, can't afford to put the cue away.
No, I think Brothers very determined. They've waited a long time for their chance.
Keogh back in field. Benson couldn't get the pass away, ends up losing it.
There's been some errors. Well, lost ball there, 16-15, so there's not a lot in it. It just seems that Redcliffe have made them at the wrong time, and Brothers have been able to capitalise on their half breaks.
Scrum screwing around, Brothers have it. Gill to Moore. Moore spots a hole, still going, Clinton Moore. Clinton Moore for the try line, shoot the gate. Clinton Moore will run all the way and score. Breaks it round underneath the uprights. That's the ball game for 1987. There they are, the brethren. They're the premiers.
They certainly are, deservingly so. They've been the top side this year. 24-8 they lead now at the moment. And the man to finish it off is the flying Clinton Moore. What a great player he is. He was involved in the earlier try for Joe Kilroy as the link man. He's been involved in just about everything today that's been good about the Brothers backline. We see the scrum break up once again. Brothers intent on using their back line. Standing past to Clinton Moore, and this is genuine pace. There wasn't much of a gap to go through there, and he went straight between Brett Rolls and Trevor Benson, out the other side, and once this guy sees daylight, you won't stop him. What a future he's got. An exciting young talent is Clinton Moore, a law student, so he can take his pick whatever way he wants to go. But don't give away rugby league, Clinton. He's on his way to St George next year. Here he is coming out the other side. Clinton Moore streaking away. The danger always was that brothers' backs were going to do the damage, and we've seen Kilroy, Mark Coyne and Clinton Moore finish off some great attacking movements as he puts it down under the sticks.
Tony Ray to add the extras right in front. Up go the flags. Brothers add another nail to the coffin. There's 4 minutes remaining now. Just under 5 minutes, in fact. They lead 26 points to 8.
Brothers, they've played very good today, and forwards have been very strong in the middle, but their backs have been excellent. That try just then by Clinton was fantastic stuff, and as David said, that was just genuine pace.
Shane McElwain on the field, and no one else deserves a jersey in a grand final more than Shane McElwain. He's come up with all these other brothers juniors. We look through the guys like Grogan and Burns, and plenty of other players, Trevor Bailey, who've been with brothers for a long, long time, and finally at their very last chance, with them all going to Sydney next year, they've come up with a premiership. So good to see Ross Strudwick giving Shane McElwain a chance to enjoy this victory. There he is going out of dummy half, and he also played in the reserve grade that brothers won. So what a day it's been for the brethren. They've had their problems off the field this season with financial difficulties, but the players put that right out of their mind. They said very early in the piece, it's not the money we're playing for, it's the glory. There's a little leprechaun. He's been on their side today, Begara. And, of course, the Fighting Irish have come through.
Might be a bit of a party out at Corbett Park tonight.
And tomorrow, and the next day.
A final farewell. Redcliffe not done with yet. As they swing it wide, Teven. 3 minutes remaining in the match.
And the trend,
26, Redcliffe 8.
The trend continues that the loser from the previous year has gone on to win the grand final. South did it in 85, Wynnum did it in 86, and now Brothers in 87. They lost the previous year, and they come back to win it.
Knuth tackle, the 5th tackle. Sandy to Benson. There's the kick to some open spaces. Back there is Clinton Moore, the try scorer from just before. He runs it back and can't beat the tackle of replacement player Gordon Barwick.
He's replaced Greg Donnelly.
As Coyne goes away from dummy half. 2.5 minutes now remaining in the match. Vince O'Brien, one of the replacement players. Brothers with it almost back to their own quarterway. Gill to Grogan. Grogan did well through the defence, then got it off to Moore. Moore just couldn't slip his pass. That's the 5th tackle. Leman with the kick downfield. Straight down the throat of Thorne. Bounces though, awkwardly for him, heading for the touchline and goes into touch. Story of the day, the bounce of the ball going Brothers' way.
They've had the bounce of the ball, Bill, but they've also made a lot of their luck too. It's been an outstanding performance and a great coaching effort by Ross Strudwick. A very proud man, I'm sure, because he can take a lot of the credit, because make no mistake, Brothers' confidence is bred from this terrific defensive pattern, something that Redcliffe have found very difficult to break today, as have most of the sides this year and many of the sides from last year. And the test is going to be now what coaches can come up with a suitable attack pattern that can counter it, because just at the moment it seems impregnable.
Redcliffe with the ball, rolls back inside to Barwick. The fence once again smothering. Kennedy coming through. Take the tackle on Barwick. Dave Brown, the blind side. Tom Burns, ball's loose. Knocked on though, Eddie Ward. And then we're into the final minute of the game. 45 seconds remaining. Brothers 26, Redcliffe 8. Put away the glasses. Peter Gill.
Well, it's been 19 years since Brothers won a premiership. They won them back-to-back, 67-68. And they're going to go out with the last historic premiership. 1987.
Gill to Clinton Moore up to the halfway mark. Rolls one of the tacklers with Benson. There's the countdown. Well, they're starting to count down from 20, the Brothers supporters. That's how confident they are.
Been a long time between drinks.
Here in the final 10. There it is, 6-5. You count it down. Brothers player slowly to his feet. There goes the hooter. And Brothers, deserved winners of the 1987 Winfield Cup Grand Final by 26 points to 8. And what a happy bunch they are.
I think we've got John Rebo with Ross Strudwick on the sideline. Let's see if we can pick up Struddy. Reeves, have you got Struddy down there with you?
I've got Ross Strudwick here with me. Ross, and we're very, very proud of the boys.
More than proud, I feel sad with happiness. It was excellent and it was worth waiting for.
Yes, Ross, it's been a long year for you, but it certainly makes it worth your while.
It's an excellent side, it's an excellent football team, and they deserve their win.
Congratulations, Ross, and congratulations to all the boys.
Thanks, John.
John Rebo speaking with Brothers coach Ross Strudwick. That certainly does top off a very difficult year for the brethren, but deserved winners this afternoon, 26 points to 8. Commiserations to Darryl Vanderveld and the Redcliffe players. And there it is, the Winfield Cup, the El Supremo, the prize that they battle all season for.
There's Struddy. He's a happy man. Funny feeling, you know, he was so disappointed last year and proud of the guys, and it's almost a letdown when you finally win it, when you've worked so hard and put everything into winning this game. And as I said before, at the risk of repeating myself, that man there must take a lot of credit, because Brothers have played a very special pattern, something that Redcliffe couldn't contend with today, and no side has been able to for most of the season. So all credit to Brothers. They really fought on strongly, and I think the scoreline really shows their supremacy this season. A fine effort, 26 points to 8.
And that's probably a fitting way to close our commentary this afternoon of the Winfield Cup for 1987. There they are, the victors, Brothers. Thanks for your company. Hope you enjoyed the match. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
These markets at New Farm. Every weekend we have our huge flea market where you can buy just about anything at prices that'll make you think the clock's been turned back. There are bargains galore and you'll have so much fun picking them up. Things for the home, whatnots for the garden, doodads to make you look good. Paddy's Flea Market every weekend. And don't forget all the fabulous bargains every weekday at Paddy's. What have we got? We've got the lot. That's what.
Oh, hi. It's funny, you know. The cleaner you are, the dirtier your shower gets. See what I mean? Bathroom plaque. But hospital-strength Domestos removes bathroom plaque because it clings to porcelain. So its powerful formula can remove every bit of dirt and mould for a sparkling, hygienic result. So now you can have a clean family and a clean bathroom.
Hospital-strength Domestos thoroughly cleans your bathroom. Lever and kitchen guarantee it.
Man, I'm starved.
Ever had lots of noodles?
Somebody say noodles?
Lots of noodles, cuppa soup, brimming with noodles and that great continental taste.
Nobody makes it with a cup like Continental.
Lots of noodles.
Cuppa soup.